back to the Diabetic Diet Show. Today's meal is going to be a classic. It's chicken pot pie, show number 137. I have the oven preheating to 450 degrees. I've brought the pre-made dough out of the refrigerator, and it says you have to let it sit for about 15 minutes. So I have that sitting out. Then I have the rest of my ingredients. I have a can of mixed vegetables. It appears to be everything from carrots and peas and beans and the whole gambit. I have a baking dish which has a lid on it. It says glass works best. I have an onion, some butter that I have thawed. I took it out earlier before church so it would be thawed. I have pre-cooked the chicken to make life easy. I'm going to cut that up. And then I have some optional carrots that you can put in. Salt and pepper, all-purpose flour. I have a 1/4 cup of milk, and I'm using almond milk. And the first thing I'm going to start with is spraying the pan. You want to do this really good or really well. These are the two pie doughs that have been sitting out, and they're kind of thawing and warming up. Now, what you want to do with these is to put them in this pan and just cook the bottom one first, pre-cook it. I use gravity to help me. You need 5 fingers to do this, or 3 hands. And I know some people cook it all at once, but really it's better if you do it this way. Especially because the chicken's already pre-cooked, and this other stuff isn't going to take long at all. So let's go ahead and put this in the oven. The other one we'll put on top when we put it back in the oven with the ingredients in it. So let's go ahead and cut up our onion. I'm not going to use all of it. Just going to use half for this recipe. I'm going to be cutting this up into large chunks. So right now I'm making some chevrons, and then I'm going to cut in at an angle. Just like that. It makes pretty short work out of it. Pitch what you don't want. And then this is a large grinder, cutter, chopper, whatever you want to call it. It'll work a lot better. I like to have them chopped. There you go. Now we need to cut up the chicken. A lot of times people will use boneless, skinless chicken breasts so they don't have to fight with a bone. Basically bite-sized pieces. This is just like you're making Oriental food. Just do it in bite-sized pieces. Keep an eye on my timer. I still have about 3 minutes, and then I have to check that crust. It's a pretty simple meal for as good as it is. It's a real hearty meal. 2 chicken breasts like that. And then everything else that goes into it, this is going to be good. We need to mix up the ingredients. Let's turn on our burner, get that rolling. Let's take some cooking spray and apply too much, or as we used to say in the fire department, copious amounts. And we're going to get that hot. Then, once it gets hot, we're going to be melting our butter, which, like I said earlier, is soft, so I cheated to make things easier to go here. So melt the butter, put the onions in, put in your salt and pepper. The salt and pepper measurements and all these ingredients are going to be listed right below where it says more about the show on YouTube, or at the website, which is jamestdds.blogspot.com. And also, while I'm thinking of it, hit that subscribe button. Help me, I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And I'll send you a present if you do that. After I get my 1,000 subscribers, they'll let me run a contest. And also hit that bell so when I do drop a new video, you'll get notified. I know there's a lot of good stuff here that you're going to love to make and cook. This is stuff you're not going to find this in cookbooks. This is modified recipes that I make because it sounds good to me. A bunch of diabetic diet show coffee cups. Have to have good Italian coffee to cook. Butter's melting, looking good. Let's go ahead and let's start putting some onions in here. I have to cook these until they're clear, which might be a little harder than usual because it's a white onion, but they'll turn more yellow than white when they're clear. So let's just let this go. We'll watch it for a few minutes. I'm in a condo building, so right out my door in the hallway is a fire extinguisher. I would use it as a last resort because it's going to make a mess. I'd have to have a pretty big fire, something like the kitchen cabinets going, before I'd consider using it. When you're cooking and something flares up, all you have to do is put the lid on it. Especially if it's in the oven, put a lid on it. That'll go right out. Careful you don't burn yourself on the flames reaching in an oven while there's flames. Try not to take a pan from the stove somewhere, like run out the door, run to the sink with it. You'll spill it on the way and make a fire trail along the way, or you'll start the kitchen cabinets. Just try throwing a blanket on it, a towel, something to try to smother it. And all good cooks keep a box of baking soda nearby. I like to keep it open so I know it's all set and ready to go. I just keep it on top of my stove. It's right in the corner. I always keep it in the same place. I never move it. I know where it is if I need it. If I put this on something, I might even be able to save the meal. If you blast with a fire extinguisher, you'll be sorry. They make such a mess. But if you got a big fire, it'll be very helpful. I had a fire in my van once. I was driving down the street, and as luck would have it, some stuff shorted out, and I had boxes of fire extinguishers in the back. and the fire extinguisher box is caught on fire. So I just pulled over, and I was in an express lane, so I was blocking traffic. I get out and I blast that box with a fire extinguisher. Smoke's rolling out all over the place. Of course it stinks. And this stuff is like talcum powder, and that stuff was in my van for the whole time I owned that van. I tried everything. I tried vacuuming, I tried leaf blower, I tried garden hosing. I could not get that powder out of my van. It was such a mess. So I would opt for baking soda or putting a lid on any day of the week. Well, this is all going really well here now. These should be in good shape. There we go. Just kind of stir them like that. Now let's go ahead and put in some more ingredients. So for salt, this is going to be kind of hard to do. I have the measuring tools for the salt and pepper, but to be honest with you, it's too hard to do out of these little shakers. So let's just do it like this. If we want more or less, we'll put it in. But little tip for you, I marked these. I don't know if you can see in the camera. I marked them so that they would be clear with a marker, because I couldn't read them without my glasses. Here is some vegetables mixed. Give that a stir for the moment. When I stir on the heel of the pan. That's right up, I'll exaggerate, it's right up on there like that. So that's how you shake to stir. Then I put in a cup of milk. And I'm going to sprinkle in a 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. And give it a good stir. I'm stirring in a figure 8 and then around the pan. Turn off the pan. Put the lid on it for a minute or two. Just let it sit there and steam. Open the lid. Now, I have broth, chicken or beef. I have chicken. And this is going to moisten up the chicken too. That's the really good news. I'm just going to give it another stir. I just want to make sure it don't stick here. Even though I sprayed the pan. Make sure you put that milk in later, because milk burns real easy. It has a real low burn point. Now, I'm going to turn the burner back on again. And I'm going to leave this and let it go up to a boil. Let's just check on these and see how it's looking. I'm going to stir it. Make sure you spill it all over the place. That's the important part. Looks good. Let's go ahead and roll out this dough. Just have to leave it, let it boil for a little bit. This is for the top. I have the bottom pre-cooked in the oven earlier. That's what it looks like. Come out pretty good. And it may not be thoroughly cooked, but it'll finish the rest of the way. soon as we get this in. It's thickened up. Let's go ahead, put this all in the center. Just kind of from experience. I've made this once before. That's why I'm not an expert. I don't make this regularly, but I have made it once before. And it was really, really good. That's why I'm making it again. Now, I have this folded in half. Set it in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and roll it over on itself because it's just going to fall in anyway. There's no sense trying to bring it up and over the pan like it's a pie or something. I'm going to throw this in the oven for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to brown up the top. Here we go, folks. Hot pie is all done. Put it out here to cool, just like it's an apple pie on the windowsill, just like Grandma used to make. Well, that's the show for today. Obviously it has to cool off. It's going to be 450 degrees. So let it sit, let it cool off, and it'll be a good meal. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.